Good morning. We're now more than halfway through October, and the new leaders in Congress have had more than 9 months to get things done for the American people. With all these pressing responsibilities, one thing Congress should not be doing is sorting out the historical record of the Ottoman Empire. The resolution on the mass killings of Armenians beginning in 1915 is counterproductive. Both Republicans and Democrats, including every living former Secretary of State, have spoken out against this resolution. Congress has more important work to do than antagonizing a democratic ally in the Muslim world, especially one that's providing vital support for our military every day. Now's the time for them to act. And I look forward to working with members of both parties on important goals. Vice President al-Hashimi is in Istanbul today, talking with the Turkish leaders to assure them that Iraq shares their concerns about terrorist activities, but that there's a better way to deal with the issue than having the Turks send massive troops into the country, massive additional troops into the country. What I'm telling you is that there's a lot of dialogue going on, and that's positive. We are actively involved with the Turks and the Iraqis through a tripartite arrangement, and we'll continue to dialoguing with the Turks. We are actively involved with the Turks and the Iraqis. I told the Chinese President Hu, that I was going to go to the ceremony. I brought it up, and I said I'm going because I want to honor this man. I have consistently told the Chinese that religious freedom is in their nation's interest. I've also told them that I think it's in their interest to meet with the Dalai Lama, and will say so at the ceremony today in Congress. If they were to sit down with the Dalai Lama, they would find him to be a man of peace and reconciliation. And I think it's in the country's interest to allow him to come to China and meet with him. I think it's a good thing for the president to do, to recognize. The thing I'm interested in is whether or not he continues to harbor the same concerns that I do. And I say continues because when we were in Australia, he reconfirmed to me that he recognizes it's not in the world's interest for Iran to have the capacity to make a nuclear weapon. And they have been very supportive in the United Nations. And we're working with them on a potential third resolution. So that's where my concerns. I don't worry about the pictures. I understand why they meet. And you bet I'm going to put veto threats out. Of course, I want to remind you, I put a lot of veto threats out when the Republicans were in control of Congress. In order for there to be lasting peace, the deal has to be good for the Palestinians as well as the Israelis. Our job is to facilitate the process. Another reason I have an international meeting is to get Arab buy-in for a state. In other words, part of the issue in the past has been that the Arab nations stood on the sidelines. And when a state was in reach, they weren't a part of the process encouraging the parties to move forward. And so this is that's what I mean by comprehensive. It's comprehensive not only for what the state will look like, it's comprehensive in getting people in the region to be a part of the process. Making bad gestures at each other. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged from what Condi tells me is going on in the Middle East, that there's the attitude is let's work together to see if we can't lay out that vision for the sake of peace between Israel and the Palestinians. And it's possible. I believe that we will see a democratic state.
Can I ask you whether you
ask me another question?
Did you